Hello there, my name's Amy from moonmindology.com, and today I am looking at the month of February. First of all, so the 1st to the 3rd of Feb, Mercury, Mars and Pluto are parallel. And I'm quite new to parallels, so I could be wrong on this, but I think that there's possibly something going on with the media, travel, there could be something a little bit violent or explosive or angry happening. And this could be anywhere from an event to a public scandal that shocks the world. And, this could perhaps involve law, justice, government, and even business. And then we move on to the 5th of February. So Mercury and Pluto are in Capricorn, and this is all about the power within the media through communications as well. And this could be social media or a clash of information or misinformation that's coming to the front, and some damage control that may be put in place. And this is occurring in the nakshatra of Purva Shada. And so this is your early victory, and this is called the invincible star. And this portion of the sky is rather aggressive, and it's a bit of an indicator towards cutting events and destruction. This nakshatra is linked to the Course Borealis, and that's a star that's located in the bow position of Sagittarius, and this is a weapon of war and hunting. So this occurs at 6 degrees of Capricorn. Donald Tusk's moon is around here, so there could be events concerning Poland. Macron, the leader of France, he is also affected, so there could be something going on there. And of course the EU, Roberta Metsola, has 2 planets that are impacted, so there could be some kind of impact on the EU as a whole in some kind of way. On the 14th, Mars and Pluto are conjunct, and this could be something to do with governments, but also aggression as well. This is a really explosive and aggressive conjunction that could have some violence involved as well. And this does happen every 2 years, but with that Mars just coming back from being out of bounds, it's just been parallel to Pluto as well. And I think this is a really important aspect to keep an eye on. And it's a sensitive spot, as you have to bear in mind Pluto has been going backwards and forwards over this point where it's been retrograding, going stationary and going forward. And this point sits on planets belonging to the leader of France, Finland, Ireland and Moldova, as well as Roberta Metsola, who is one of the leaders of the EU. So these people could be impacted around this time, could have some impact on Europe. On the 17th, Venus and Pluto are conjunct in Capricorn, and this could be something that affects big business, government, and that's because we're looking at Capricorn. So Venus and Pluto, they're quite intense, and there can be imbalances of power. This happens every year, but as I said before, it's right on planets of some of the leaders, and this is about conjunction. This is a conjunction of betrayal, and there could be some feelings around that energy as well. 22nd, Venus conjunct Mars in Capricorn. And this is a difficult one because this happens every year, but it's called a planetary war. And this is one of the conjunctions that tipped the Ukraine-Russia issue over the edge a few years back. So don't underestimate this tight conjunction, as it can certainly be potent. This is happening at 12 degrees, and Zelensky has his personal sun and a Venus here at this point. And the Ukrainian elections are being held in March, and something could happen in this time frame to cause a problem for Zelensky. The 27th, Mars in Capricorn, it squares Jupiter at 16 degrees, and Mars is aspecting Aries, and this is its own sign, so there can be military presence or police presence. With Jupiter, it can create some extremes, so there could be some kind of action in the geopolitical world. We're currently on a thin line with political tensions right now, and there could be some threats during this time. Mars gives Jupiter a lot of energy, and so people could be quite snappy right now. So look before you leap and think before you talk. I remember I had this aspect a few years ago and on the exact day that the aspect was to my personal planet, I really, I was quite angry. I sent a strongly worded complaint, and it was only after the message was sent did I realise I sent it to the wrong company. So look before you send your angry messages, or don't bother at all, because sometimes it can just come out as just being quite embarrassing. But that's an example of what can happen. So the leader of China, his Venus is at this degree of Aries, and this could impact wealth and culture in China. Latvia and Lithuania have Mars at 15 degrees, so this could trigger for something for them as well. The leader of Spain, his ascendant is at 18 degrees, so he could have something going on. This occurs in Barony, and that is the star of restraint. And this is about birthing and then growing a situation. And there's a link to morals and ethics here, but it also has a repressive energy as well, so bear that in mind. The 28th, Saturn, Mercury and the Sun are conjunct at 15 degrees of Aquarius, and Saturn is really strong here, and it puts a lot of pressure on authority and leaders. And this is about responsibility, and there needs to be careful and thoughtful communications around about this time. There can be an overwhelming doom and gloom feeling, or even some kind of resistance. But after all, the hotness of that out of bound Mars last month and that Mars aspecting Jupiter, this may bring leaders to the table to actually discuss some sensible solutions, temporarily of course. The Sun is, the unsatisfactory father of Saturn, and Saturn is the loving father of Mercury, and luckily Saturn is quite strong, because otherwise the Sun will deprive Saturn and Mercury will receive all of his strength. So luckily he can carry these two in this sign. The leader of Montenegro will be affected, but this is a really interesting one. Erdogan, or the leader of Turkey, he's also got planets here. And this is all happening in the nakshatra of Shatabishak, which is the 100 healers. And it's associated with the vast oceans. So there could be something happening within the oceans. And there can also be something hidden that's behind the scenes. So we'll have to wait and see what that might be. Overall, I believe that this month is going to start off with a bit of aggression and hopefully end with things simmering behind the scenes, maybe some kind of talks in place. I don't think that we're due a world war at the moment, and I wouldn't worry too much. This month should calm down a bit on the outside. I think there's things simmering underneath, but for the most part of, us little minions watching the news, I think there should be at the end of the month a little bit of a calm. Thank you very much for your time today, and I will see you next time. Don't forget, you can go to moonmindology.com and book an appointment with me if you are interested in getting a reading like this. Thank you very much. Bye.